the Cannes Film Festival has been headlining the showbiz news this week, and there's been a big buzz about Quentin Tarantino's new movie, Inglourious Basterds, that's with an E. Speaking about the film, its star, Brad Pitt, revealed his appearance in the film was accidental. He said, "Quentin came by to visit sometime at the end of the summer. I got up the next morning and saw 5 empty bottles of wine on the floor, and apparently I'd agreed to do this film." So, does a tipple turn us into a yes person? Can we be persuaded to do things we might not otherwise agree to? Think very carefully. You have done some spectacular ones,
obviously, when I was out with Enrique last week, I don't know if I've mentioned Enrique, I went out afterwards, and I've woken up with 4 or 5 texts from different people that I've obviously arranged to all meet up because they're all suddenly my best friends. In fact, Tim said to me, he said, "Flower, why didn't you just get your mobile phone number tattooed on your head and it'll save you loads of time in the night just going to randomers." Late night. One of the main things though that I did that I just remembered earlier was that, you know, when you go to like a nightclub and sometimes in the sort of posher places they have the lovely little ladies in the toilet who give you a bit of a spray of perfume. And there was this woman working in the club that my friend was sort of working at a few years ago, and she'd started telling me apparently this story about how she was so poor and all her family were from Jamaica. And a week later, I got a phone call saying, "This is such and such from the club." And I'd apparently promised to pay for all her family to come over from Jamaica. And to live with you. To live with me at my house. Oh, that's brilliant. And she told them, and she was just saying, "We just want to know what plane they can get and what train to get up to Alderley Edge." I mean, that's a terrible
thing. How did you
thing.
get out
That's
of that?
Well,
Terrible.
I just had to ring my friend Pam before there and say, "How did I get out of it?" And she said, "You just had to ignore the calls for about a month from this poor little lady who's gone to a family. I've met this lovely woman in there." Apparently I was crying with the story going, "Don't you worry." Don't you worry. Give me your number. And the other thing that I did last year was waking up in the morning, no, not waking up in the morning, but getting the newspaper, and it's saying, "Join Denise Welch on her trek to the Great Wall of China." And you have no idea. No recollection. No recollection of
At
it.
least you went through with that one.
I did go through, but I remember standing on the Great Wall of China last year going, "How am I here?"
Yeah, but it was a great thing, and you...
Oh, it was a brilliant thing. I was glad I did
it.
We raised a lot of money. It was fantastic. But as I say, you know,
You might not have done it if you hadn't have had a drink that night.
I might not have done.
See?
Anyway.
Well, the worst I've ever agreed to is a lot of karaoke. Once I get up there with a few of me, you can't get me off.
But that's a sort of delusion, isn't it?
It's that delusion of ability and talent that you clearly don't have.
That goes with
The only time I've done it is when I remember being somewhere and somebody saying something about walking, and I went, "Oh, I'll do it. The next morning I'd agreed to the 26-mile marathon. Having never run anywhere, even to a bus, in my life. Did you do it? No, of course I didn't. Again, I had to pretend that I was...
but you see, I went through with my charity.
You did, but not 26 miles running.
It's not 5 miles long. I did quite a percentage of it.
I think actually people do understand that, you know, sometimes you don't mean it when, you know, I don't do it. I might do. I don't remember that I've done it.
Excuse me, when we were in Marbella and the night we went out for dinner and you couldn't see
2 weeks ago,
and you had your tuna and you fell asleep in your dinner, and every few minutes you kept waking up, and these people would say, "Oh, you must come over." Go, "Yes, Sherrie, tell them we'll come up, give them the number, give them the number, we'll come and we'll stay with you." We were staying with 19 different people every weekend with their numbers going, "Oh, it's going to be lovely." Oh, she kept going, "Yes, I'll be there." Nothing. I had to drag her out down the steps, and we had to get into a taxi and flee. You'd have read so much. So no, she doesn't accept anything ever.
Right, if you would